how to create passive income. So a lot of people always ask me, John, I want to travel the world. I don't want to work in a job anymore. What can I do that's going to earn passive income? So I'm going to give you 3 strategies. Number 1, 3 business models I was talking about. Number 1, so this is one thing that I highly recommend you all do if you want to earn passive income. Now, passive income, I will say, it's kind of a term that's thrown around a lot. Is it easy? It's actually quite difficult. So, because you got to put the time in. It's not as easy as a lot of people make it sound out to be. You got to put the time in, you got to put the effort in, you got to get the systems right. Trainer, relationship coach, whether you're a speaker, author, mentor, life coaching, whatever it is. So now that you've made money, you work really hard for money, but so how do you multiply the money? It's really important to learn how to multiply money. So one of the fast ways to multiply money, and this is the way I personally do this, but here's the secret. Are you ready? The secret is, it's actually something I teach in some of the advanced training programs. The reason I can travel all around the world is because I've got systems in place that earn passive income. Right? People always say, do these strategies work? My question to you is, do you work? How to create passive income. So a lot of people always ask me, John, I want to travel the world. I don't want to work in a job anymore. What can I do that's going to earn passive income? So I'm going to give you 3 strategies. Number 1, if you want to create passive income, you have to create a system in place that replaces your time. So if you have to trade time for money, then unfortunately it's going to be really, really hard to create passive income because you're going to be working in the business and not on the business. So that's the first thing. Second little business model I've got for you is to make sure that you create some kind of online shop where you're not having to work in that business. So let's say, for example, right now you have a shop, and let's say you're here, right now I'm in Sydney. It's a beautiful location here actually, if you've never been here before. But if you have a shop and you're selling things in that shop, let's say you sell something for $100. If you can sell 5 of those a day, you make $500, right? Even if you sell 5 a week or like 5 every other week, you can earn enough for you to not have to work in a job. So, one of the biggest, strategies that I would say is to actually start earning passive income in such a way that allows you to create products to sell. So that's the second thing. Third way to earn passive income is to sell other people's products. So 3 business models I was talking about. Number 1, you can either grow your own business and earn income from your own business. Number 2, you can actually start creating and selling other people's products. Number 3, which I call the influencer model, where you can actually sell other people's products and promote their products and get paid to make a post. So this is one thing that I highly recommend you all do if you want to earn passive income. Now, passive income, I will say, it's kind of a term that's thrown around a lot. Is it easy? It's actually quite difficult. So, because you got to put the time in. It's not as easy as a lot of people make it sound out to be. So you got to put the time in, you got to put the effort in, you got to get the systems right. And I think one of the most important things, especially when it comes to systemization as well, is to make sure you get the process right first before you start scaling it up. So let me give you an example. When I first started my business, I had to do all the stuff first to figure out how I was going to scale it, how I was going to systemize it. For example, I had a guy at an event yesterday. He said, John, can you do the marketing for my company? I said, well, we can. We charge a lot, but I'd rather you learn how to do it first before you outsource it. And he said, why? And I said, because if you outsource it to somebody else, you're trying to systemize that way, how do you know if that person is doing a good or a bad job? You don't. So the imperative thing here is to make sure you understand things yourself first before you start monetizing, before you start scaling up, before you start outsourcing. Outsourcing is a great way to earn passive income because you're not having to do the job yourself. You're actually finding other people to do it for you. But to do that, you have to find competent people. You have to make sure they understand what they're doing. And most importantly, if they are not competent, then your business can't grow. You won't be able to make sales and therefore not be able to make passive income. Now, the question a lot of people ask is, well, John, why would I want to earn passive income? What is passive income? There are 3 types of income. Number 1 is called active income. Active income is when we have to trade time for money. So if you ever work in a job and you're getting paid £10 per hour, that's an example of, trading time for money. The second thing is what we call passive income. Again, turning that IP and making that money work instead of you having to trade time for it. So one fast way I could do right now, I could take the knowledge from my head, package that into an online course, put it online and sell it, right? So what's happened, I've taken my IP from my head, pulled it out, and now I'm offering it to somebody else without me having to be there. You can do that with any type of training, whether you're a personal trainer, relationship coach, whether you're a speaker, author, mentor, life coaching, whatever it is, right? You can take what your IP in your head, package that into another product, and then offer that to someone else. Third type of income is what we call leveraged income. So now that you've made money, you work really hard for money, but so how do you multiply the money? It's really important to learn how to multiply money. So one of the fast ways to multiply money, and this is the way I personally do this, is to find underutilized ad platforms. What do I mean by that? So let's take Facebook, for example. So you're probably watching this on some social media platform. So the platforms now have attention. So how can I utilize that attention? How can I take my money, put it into a system, an ad platform, and then get what we call a positive ROI? So if I'm right now spending, like, let's say I spend £10, but I can make back £10, that's a great ROI because I'm breaking even. A lot of people don't understand this concept. Like, well, John, you're not even making any money by spending £10 and making £10. But here's the secret. Are you ready? The secret is you have to get to break even as fast as possible so we can scale, so anything after that becomes pure profit. It's actually something I teach in some of the advanced training programs on how you actually can get what we call a positive ROI, break even as fast as possible, and own the data. This is the biggest key. The reason why I'm able to travel all around the world, again, right now I'm here, this is Sydney Opera House back behind me. The reason I can travel all around the world is because I've got systems in place that earn passive income. I've taken my IP over the last 10 years and put that into lots of different online shops so people can go and purchase, and the consumer part of the IP. It's kind of like what you're doing right now. You're watching this, and you're probably watching this on a social media platform, but what it allows you to do is that in the future, social media platforms will actually charge people to follow people. In fact, Facebook's already rolling out something like this called the Facebook Supporter Platform. You've probably heard me talk about this. So that means people have to pay money to follow you now. You see? So all these are different passive income strategies that's available to you right now, but the thing is you have to learn before you earn. Write the word L-E-A-R-N. Write it down. Get a piece of paper, L-E-A-R-N. Right? So if you take off the L, what does it spell? Earn. Right? You must learn before you earn. And so, you know, one of the keynotes here at this event, you know, he was talking about upskilling yourself. Right? You must upskill yourself. You must have the necessary skills in order to outperform your competition. Because if you've got more skills than somebody else, it means now you have the edge. So for example, one of the skills I've acquired over the last 10 years is the ability to be able to take money, put it into an ad platform, and get more money back out. It's kind of like an ATM. I know it sounds a little bit too good to be true, but isn't anything once you, like, you know, can someone throw a basketball from one end of the court and have it, you know, into the loop? Of course they can, right? Sounds too good to be true, but it's skill acquisition, it's practice, and practice creates mastery. So if you want to earn more passive income, you must master the game of money, you must master the game of leverage, and you must master the game of top business models that's working in today's market. I've already given you quite a few ideas during this training, during this video, but I just really want you to understand that passive income creation comes and starts with you first. Right? People always say, do these strategies work? My question to you is, do you work? And so I can tell you, if you do this, you keep doing this every single day, I promise you, you will start getting some amazing results. And by the way, if this is the first time you come across me, and you'd love to get more videos on passive income creation, starting a business, growing a business, and getting paid to do what you love, then hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications, or like and comment on here as well. If you've got any questions, leave a comment below this and I'll personally come in and answer those questions for you. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna link another video here and here, because one of the best ways to also earn income is through property investment. That's one of the ways I started. That's how I made my first million in property. So I'm gonna link a video around here with some other ideas so you can check those out. And thank you so much for watching. Do whatever it takes, make every day great, take massive, massive action. It's John Lee, the author of Business Hack, coming to you live from Sydney. Bye for now.